it sounds like you're very mindful about how many artists there are for how much public there is. You know, that's a very careful balance. And I don't know if most promoters would even consider that. They're just going to try to get as many people through the door as they can. Uh, but
It's a very
yeah,
dangerous game, pushing the limit so much. Some organizers are definitely able to do so in some places of the world. But
Yeah,
as you
because
said, Mickey,
also
like you want to make sure everybody works at the end of the day as
if
well.
I can say, one thing that I found out lately and really amazed me, but as I say, usually I don't like to make names or things, just like amaze me is not the way I'm working. I see that many tattoo convention organizers nowadays, what they do, they invite and even they pay 20 top artists to be there, and then they try to get as many artists as possible to get all the money from the booth, and they don't care if are good or bad or whatever. And even the tattooers that are going there, even if they don't work, they don't care because they just take photo with a big name, post on their social media, and say to their follower, "Look, I am in this convention working with this big star, etc., etc." And always amazed me. It's not absolutely what interested me. To me, every single artist that come in the show must has a reason. This is why I think I've been the first one that start many different things. And with London, for example, I was the first one that give single booths and not double. What I mean, if you were going to convention till 20 years ago when I started London, people used to buy a booth even if they were invited. They had a booth, and usually booths were for two artists, and one artist that was buying the booth could bring whoever he wanted.
mm-hmm.
Me,
That's the
I
only way
was
it
the
works. Yeah.
only one that started to invite you. Come and you have only one place for yourself, not for your partner in the tattoo show, not for your friend, not for your girlfriend that is tattooing. No, only for you, and you only can work there, because I wanted to have control 100%. And before I started London, I think nobody was doing that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I've
this is
not
a
seen
very
that.
good piece of information for a lot of organizers, you know, on how to also manage the artists that get at their shows.
Yeah,
I'm
also
also always
because
surprised when I see too many people in one booth and officially there's only one sitting there, but then you have three or four, you know, that happens
no, to
still.
me, no. No, if I was find it that somebody was giving the machine to somebody else, I was going to ask him to leave the show. Because I just give you another example. Unfortunately, it happened only one time. But basically, I invited a tattooer, is a famous tattooer, whatever, ta, ta, ta. And then, unfortunately, one night he was a little bit too stoned, and instead of leaving the show, he tattooed one hand, and the tattoo he did was totally horrible. So the customer came to me and he showed the tattoo he did. Basically, I pay him the laser to take it out. I pay him, I say to him, you can choose the tattooer you want, and you do the tattoo, and I will take care of it. Because basically, London for me, it was like my tattoo studio. If you have a tattoo studio, you're responsible for every single tattoo that come out from the show, from the studio.
That's
And the same was
that's
for
ethic.
me for London. So of course the tattooer that did this mistake never been invited anymore, even if he was high and famous. I don't care, he never invited. And at the end, he offered himself to pay the laser, the new tattoo, and this is what he did. But as I said, I was feeling responsible for every single tattoo that was done in London for everybody.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, you had a
That's
vision of nothing but excellence in that show, and you know that's part of shoring that up, making sure it happens, keeping that high standard.
Yeah,
uh,
especially because when you have 450 people, but you don't know all of them personally. So you don't know how professional they are, how much booze they like to drink when they party or what they do. Unfortunately, you cannot control that.
Yeah, and someone's size of their Instagram following might not necessarily be proportional to you know, how good they are on a day-to-day basis, you know, in doing their tattooing. And, you know, I've sometimes seen, you know, a piece that's circulating and this person's getting a billion likes on it. I'll look at their profile, and that just happened to be their really exceptional piece, and everything else is you know. And I'm sure people get into shows on the basis of a few, you know, hit singles like that, you know, and that's got to be a hard thing to screen out.
No, actually, London never happened like this because, as I was saying before, if somebody was asking to come, I was not just looking the tattoo they were sent me by email on everything. I was going to do all the research I could before invited him. So it never happened that I have an artist that maybe was doing a good piece and then the rest not so good. What I was saying that I couldn't have control of the personal behavior of all the tattooers because many I didn't know them personally, so I don't know how was the higher of professional ethic they had.